following program on Derana 24 is classified for general audience. It is intended for all ages. It contains little or no violence, no strong language, and little or no sexual dialogue or situations.
Hit it.
I believe in glasses half full and silver lining.
So that there is or was is ever gonna.
This is a special presentation of Showbiz Tonight on the 97th Annual Academy Awards. Now, reporting live, here's Anuradhie Wickremesinghe, Sanuvi Mudannayake, and Mahieash Johnney.
A very good evening, everyone. Welcome to our special presentation right here on Derana 24. Well, as you just saw in the opening clip and all, you know what we are going to talk about with regard to the 97th Oscars. 3 more to go for a century. But here we are talking tonight about the 97th Oscar. In a few more hours, we will be going for the live show. I mean, we won't be showing it on Derana 24, but we will be showing it next week. But tonight, you can see the SAG Awards, the Screen Actors Guild Awards at 9:35 right here on Derana 24. But Oscars next week. But this time around, we have come together just to give a prediction. Talk about movies, because this is something that we really love and care about. And with me tonight is two, I want to say beautiful, but I'm contemplating
it's already beginning.
of that. Sanuvi Mudannayake and also Anuradhie Wickremesinghe. I know them personally, that they are very much into movies and television, drama. They stir up drama too.
I do not recall the last time I stirred up drama. I've been very good.
Here they are with me tonight in order to talk a little bit about the Oscars, because there's a lot more to discuss about the movies, things.
Actually, I mean, we're mentioning stirring up drama. I think this is a little bit of a drama itself. It's 7 p.m. on a Sunday, and usually if you would tune in to Derana 24, as we'd expect you to every week, you would expect Mahieash in a different format. Of course, we would be nowhere near your screens at 7 p.m. on a Sunday. What exactly is going on, Mahieash?
You're talking about the fact that, you know, State of the Nation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Last time around, yeah, told last week that we'll be back with the 51st episode on Sunday the 2nd of March, but we are taking a small pause, not to just to say that the state of our nation is not crucial. It is very crucial, but we were pausing that political conversation a little bit in order to give way for movies, because one of the things is I am a massive movie buff that y'all know that personally. Television-wise,
wow.
Television-wise, I love everything, and it has been there for me from small days onwards. That was my escape point. That was my happy place. Basically, I go to that place in order to find a little bit of solace from the reality, which we all do, and that's what movies are these days. A gateway in order to go get out of the reality of what you are in, and then talk a little bit about and get refueled and come back and fire on all cylinders, isn't it?
That's true. For me personally, I am more of a book person. I go by books first and then I watch the movie next. But that doesn't...
And Mahieash is the
right?
exact
it doesn't show.
What do you mean it doesn't show?
Because with your conversation doesn't seem like...
That I'm a book person.
Oh well. I am a book person. I'm a massive book person.
You'll have to prove that point in the future.
What
probably.
do you mean? Or you've seen my books. You've seen the collection.
That's true, but
then...
But having a book collection doesn't necessarily mean...
Here
yes.
we go. But the point of the matter is that I do love movies just as much, because I feel like once you imagine something while reading and you see that on screen, to see someone else's take on, okay, this is a story and this is how it's portrayed, is something really nice. And with movies, anything could happen.
Exactly. But sometimes, of course, things tend to go sour if you read the original source material first.
I think some of the nominations are just that. If you look at the classic story, it's not Wicked. It's prior to that. It was just slips my mind. What was this movie based on?
Was
completely,
it Dune?
Before the Yellow Brick Road.
Yes, that was Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz. My God,
Yellow Brick Road. You just quoted the Beatles.
The Yellow Brick Road. Obviously the Beatles. But it's a reimagination of that original story, and we know there was a little bit of a drama with regard to
Cynthia,
one of the actress who plays the main roles, who is up for the nomination for, I think, Best Supporting Actress. She didn't win right throughout in any of the awards shows, so here we are at the tail end of the award season. Oscars is the culminations of it, and it looks like right now some movies and some nominations are very predictable that they are going to win at the 97th Oscar. But some are not that much.
Not that
especially when it comes to Best Actor. Still, it's up for grabs. Could it be Adrian Brody from The Brutalist, or Timothée Chalamet? Because apparently
Chalamet is
a wild card.
And then I feel like everybody's like rooting for him to win. Netizens are like, it should be.
I mean,
everybody was rooting for Wicked as well, and then
I mean,
Wicked ended up,
but,
in its current state.
Exactly.
Cynthia Erivo specifically might have like an entire award season without having to bag anything that she would have expected to in the beginning.
Do you think all of that could have been caused because of the massive drama that came through, or was she really that not?
But it could also be a Rachel Zegler scenario, clout chasing, storing up publicity, something like that for Wicked to actually take off. Because of course, the movie is still in the shadow of the absolute masterpiece that is the musical.
And there have been many retakes of Wizard of Oz. Many
The one with
versions
Mila
of it.
Kunis and all of that as well. I think that had more success than the current.
But that's where the Rachel Zegler issue comes in, when you try to have a completely different narrative from original classics. Then people try to, react in the way, like for a simple example, now you said you're a bookworm. For you, if you see a different, completely completely unrealistic version of Snow White, then obviously
because that's part of our childhood. Those are the classics. You don't mess with the classics.
Exactly, and that's what they try to do, mess with the classics, but not exactly in a kind way, but not respecting.
Not in a respectful way. I think the state of Disney's finances actually speaks for itself when it comes to how the fans feel about how they're going to manipulate the source material as well. But then again, we're talking about a movie that hasn't come out yet, already has a bunch of dislikes, and is not on our nomination list. So maybe we should get right.
I think we sidestepped
exactly. So but why don't we start off? I mean, we're not going to talk about all the nominations that will be there. I think there's more than 15 or 16, and we are expecting that show to go more than 2 hours per se, and that is every single time. But this time around, there's a new host, and apparently one of the reasons they got away from Jimmy Kimmel, and then they are now going to Conan O'Brien, a comedic actor, not a comedic actor, he's a comedian, and also a comedic host. He has his own show. He has been there for, I think, for quite some time in television history.
Oh yes,
really
he's a
tall
legend.
guy, really tall guy. But this time around, one of the reasons that they are going to him is because viewer ratings are going really down for the Oscars, because I don't know, for your Conway, your generation is not that interested in watching and sitting and watching the show for about 2 hours. But during my days, this is
that was
like
the show,
something,
right? That was the show of the season.
I still do it. I still do that like a prayer. I have to watch the whole thing.
Content, and I feel like we're so used to seeing
we're not having live performances this time, right?
Yeah, you're talking about TikTok.
Yes, so we're used to shorts, we're used to TikTok, and then how long do you really stick to one video and watch it throughout?
But that also speaks about the production quality and the direction of the show as well. What you're talking about, the greats that you grew up with was basically the best of the best, the creme de la creme when it comes to filmmaking and cinematography. Even during the awards show, you can see that quality being reflected, right? What we are celebrating is also being reflected onto our screens at home. But you grew up with that glory, and so you're going to ensure you'll stick around because that's what it cultivated in you.
Yeah, true.
For us, I mean, we were exposed to, when it comes to cinematography-wise, of course, visual effects and, 3D modeling and rendering, that's what we've been, attached to, the Marvel's franchise,
we grew
DCU.
up with it. That's our basic, that's our norm. And
exactly.
It doesn't really...
It's not people for us, it's techniques, right?
Once you watch the Oscars,
SFX.
like, it's another award ceremony to glorify the already glorified. And you're like, okay, we watch it. They win, woohoo, yay! But then, end of the day, you're like just sitting on a couch.
So do you believe it's a bit of bigotry politics in there as well? Is that why it's like, why are we patting the backs of people that have already been patted?
No, not in that sense. I love people being celebrated by people. That's
it's
nice.
the Oscars.
It's the Oscars, but then again, you're like, it's back to back award ceremonies. I mean, people are entitled to their own opinions.
But then you have to understand, 97th Oscar. This is the award show that inspired all the other shows. Okay, so from the first one up until right now, it's 3 more to go. There is no other award show that is beyond this age. So you see,
that's true. Maybe our generation will be more excited for
that's the thing, right? Historical context.
Anyway, so let's get to one of the categories. We're going to first talk about visual effects. Before that, here's a look at the nominees for visual effects.
A lot of what we've done is mix CG with the practicals. Freddie wanted to shoot with as much practical, especially with our actors. He just didn't believe that we'd get anything great if the actors didn't have something to work against. So anytime the actors are on screen, we're always shooting with our practicals. And it's really only when we can or we need multiples that we tend to lean on CG. And in some cases, we shot the practicals, but then would augment them. We're adding tails, we're adding other parts, we're taking out the wires and the cables. And then hopefully the audience doesn't know, and we've just used the full CG version. This was a recognizable celebrity. We wanted to evoke this guy, but not copy him. We wanted to feel like a monkey, but we don't want it to kind of bump for anybody. Of course, we had an amazing powerhouse performance from Johnney. There were opportunities with Robbie, however, to look at archival footage. We could weave that in, signature expressions and little mannerisms to try to really capture the spark of the real Robbie Williams.
Denis had pitched this idea as to how a Fremen will actually get on a worm. We had strict rules, like it was a dedicated team and they could only shoot on sunny days, and we would bombard the actor on the worm section with like tons of sand.
The challenge for us was finding motivations for all of these dusts and bursts. So if there was a massive dust burst in front of the character on set, we had to figure out where that came from, which meant sculpting a dune, placing it there, sand simulations.
We used the deep learning facial solver for 5 of our hero characters and the rest were fully keyframed. We also had dual face cameras, which gave us depth meshes. Once we sort of got like a bigger range of performances in, we decided to incorporate our mapping process as well and to make it a shorter sort of step for the animators to be working with. It allowed them more time to focus on like the emotional intent of each performance.
I'm the one you want. I'm the one you want. It's me.
We spent a lot of time on the animation, getting her in and out of the frame, patching over 2 different shots that would be combined, especially when she's going to fly out of the frame and we're going to watch her flying away from us. And that's going to be a takeover. And we had to play it very carefully because we were really, really careful never to touch what Cynthia was doing, especially when she was singing.
Once you learn to harness your emotion, the sky's the limit.
Well, that's a look at visual effects. The nominees for that are from Alien Romulus, Better Man, Dune Part 2, which is one of the fan favorites, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and Wicked, of course, in the running for, I think, basically all the awards.
13 of them, right?
No, 10 of them for Wicked.
So ladies, what's your take? Who's going to take the coveted prize for visual effects at the 97th Oscars?
All right, this is a big deal, right? Specifically for our generation.
Because Dune is there?
No, because it's visual effects.
All right, but I'd like to point out that Dune Part 1 doesn't hold a candle to Dune Part 2. Right? I believe they actually did the source material some justice in this specific film.
In the first one?
Not the first one, the second
because
one.
Dune itself, the storyline, it's such a burn. It makes you sit down and read, and you have to really keep your attention to it because it's a slow burn.
Exactly, but I'm just glad that we all as a collective thought, hang on, let's give it some time to develop, and now we have the, well, I wouldn't say masterpiece, but the critically acclaimed piece that is Dune Part 2. And specifically when it comes to visual effects though, Alien, all right, the plot was iffy, yes, but my goodness, the rendering, the finishes of that, it's amazing.
I'm really proud, as a person who's working with you, and as a person who's very much,
oh my God,
very much,
into
this? All this, visual graphics and everything, which is basically my, passion project. She talking about rendering stuff and the visual quality and all that.
I mean, she's learning from the best. What do you expect?
Oh wow! Okay, way to stroke an ego.
But that's very interesting. I mean, like, is that the same that you actually share with her in terms of like the quality of it?
Because here's the thing. Once
so you, what's your take, Anuradhie? Before I go to her,
yes.
Who's going to take that prize in your opinion?
In my opinion, I think it's going to be Dune. Simply because of the environmental, the acrid aspects of all, like you see the color grading visibly change throughout the scenes, and it's something you can't actually transition without making it too obvious. But for some reason, the team that works, I believe it's Paul Lambert, Stephen James, Reese Alcombe, and Gert Nevzer, they deserve so much credit for being able to diffuse the transitions and to not make it so in your face, right? It's really hard to blend VFX and, the graphics with reality.
That's true. I mean, yeah, I would agree with you on that part. But then for me, as much as controversial as liking Wicked is, for some reason, seeing how all of it, the world being built, every part of Galinda coming through, her power is been subtly portrayed in it, you know, not like throw it over your face and be like, okay, she is the good witch, because there's like an origin story and they need to like give the, let's call it.
What do you think about the color contrasts though?
So the greens and the pinks, is it too basic for you?
No, it's not the basicness, right? There are certain color values that are pleasing for the human eye naturally, right? Even when it comes to, I'm sure Mahieash would know the most about this.
I'm enjoying this conversation because this is okay, so if you're watching it from home, okay, these two work with me, which
if it wasn't obvious.
So this is not something that I get to hear after, you know, during the time that we are planning on production side of things and all. None of this comes out. What I hear is absolutely abysmal.
Wow.
I can't use the word. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I hear, okay.
PG rated.
And that is honestly, I'm a proud papa here.
Oh, wow, okay.
When you guys are talking about
that's a
graphical quality and
Is this what it feels to be praised by Mahieash?
Acknowledged? No, but you know what? Speaking on the visual effects aspect, I'm sure a lot of y'all that are watching tonight would have called the elections as well. So you would have seen a lot of graphical input on our channel specifically. You can look forward to that. I'm not putting any spoilers out there. But which is exactly why I feel like it's important for us to really focus on the technical aspects, because sure, like the art of cinema has to do with the person that's portraying a character, but then again, a singular individual or even a group of collective individuals can only do so much. And the fact that we've come forward as a race to be able to better storytelling with basically binary numbers is insane. So yeah,
I mean, yeah.
And at a time when we were talking about AI generated content
exactly.
and all, so there is a lot, because for Hollywood it's one of the scary part of the story. If AI can actually take over the roles of all these production people, then lots of jobs are going to go away, and that's something that
AI,
they don't want happening, and they are not even going in that direction. The United States is leading, but then there are, I think it was one of the movies actually utilized AI in order to basically generate a preview clip, and then it kind of had a massive backlash. So, Sanuvi, what's your prediction for visual effects?
I feel like it could be wicked, solely for the reason that, funnily enough, the human eye could detect, like, you know, when it comes to fantasy films like this, it's fake. Everybody knows it's fake. But the thing is, it can't be that fake. Like, you see it, you need to understand, okay, this is something that could not, it's out of the ordinary.
Blending it, right?
It's blending in, but then it can't be too bad. Like, if you take the Marvel films, you know, none of that is possible in real life, till now, for now. But it has to feel real, but not too fake at the same time. Does that make sense?
Indeed. My take, also, I think you called it Dil might actually take it take the visual effects portion of it, because you know what she said was actually right on the money, because of the simple fact that apparently there's a lot of effort that has made, and that world is actually a massive fan-based world, Dune, from the books to the movies, and I think now even games and everything is coming in on that part. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think they're going on the, it might be that. So we'll get to that more, but actually we want to take a short commercial break, because we've been talking a lot about the 97th Oscars right here on Other Than 24. This is our special presentation. We'll be right back. Welcome back everyone to our special presentation of Showbiz Tonight. This is our 97th Oscar special presentation with regard to, we're just talking about the movies who will take the coveted prize. It is the tail end of an award season, and here we are, basically 97th, one of the original award shows that have ever existed on this planet is what we are talking about. Every single actor, even in Sri Lanka, I'm pretty sure, Sanuvi, if by any chance, if there isn't a possibility for them to win an Oscar, I'm sure they would never ever let go of that particular chance, because that is where everybody's trying to get.
It's the
to.
Oscars.
Yeah, exactly. That is the classic line. It's the Oscars. Okay, so we are running out of time, so we have to get to the bigger categories. Let's start with actress in a supporting role. Here are the nominees.
To be back performing emotions through my body was something I was missing. Playing Rita was interesting because Rita is an invisible character. Her environment is compelling her to forget about herself. Women keep so much inside. When you reach into her thoughts and she's enraged and she's upset and she's an elitist, it was very rich and quite rewarding.
Abramos el corazón. Amemos a las mujeres, perdonemos a los hombres, abracemos la miseria.
I've seen it in my life often that women that don't speak or are submissive actually can have a lot of authority. And not only the nuns, and I went to a nun school, models are supposed to be beautiful and shut up is kind of the motto. Sois belle and tais-toi. But still they can be very powerful. There is a way of exuding authority and even a moral authority, even if you don't have words.
Although we sisters are supposed to be invisible, God has nevertheless given us eyes and ears.
That longing and waiting that Laszlo has might have been shared by the audience. It is about this woman actually flourishing and strengthening. She's suffering from malnutrition at the beginning, and we see her defiance building throughout that second half as she's reunited with this person that she adores.
Last night I met God. He granted me permission to call him by his name.
A really wonderful thing about Joan is that she's always been very honest about herself.
How about that Joan Baez, folks?
She said a wonderful thing, and that is, if you're trying to make a piece of art perfect, you're robbing it of what makes it interesting. I sort of borrowed that for this because I can be a really intense perfectionist, and I was trying to get her exactly right. She is such a spirited individual. The last thing I wanted to do was rob her of any of that.
The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind.
For the vocal element, I would say I started training with my vocal coach, Eric Vitro, 2.5 to 3 months before my first audition. It was really important to me that my vocal register sounded unrecognizable and just completely different and authentically classical and operatic. I wanted it to sound full and warm. I just wanted to be able to use any tool that was needed. Listen to me. You can do this. You can do anything.
Well, for the actress in a supporting role, the nominees were Monica Barroso from A Complete Unknown, Ariana Grande, Wicked, Felicity Jones from The Brutalist, Isabella Rossellini from The Conclave, and Zoe Saldana from Emilia Perez. Those are in the running. So Zoe Saldana has been basically killing this.
Yes, rightfully so.
All the award shows, rightfully so, despite the whole woke thematic storyline of what do you call Emilia Perez.
Yes.
you have to basically give it to Zoe, not because of anything else. It's because this is a massive action star taking on a very, 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 very hard role, basically singing, utilizing her chops. And no, I mean, like, there is one single clip how she actually choreographed the whole thing, perfectly dancing with the background actors and all. It's really, it is very
the choreography.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It is very
but then
admirable. So the rest in terms of their, I mean, like, if you take the Complete Unknown, she's also actually good. She gave a really good. She also sang really well in that performance. Ariana Grande, once again, she's a known singer. That's where I think everybody expects her to obviously sing. And she's not just a normal singer. She's one of those,
she's a Broadway
heavy hitter.
Yes, but
Broadway
here's
level.
the thing. Have you heard of the phrase, when it comes to Ariana Grande, you have a couple of riffs that she does. Ariana Grande-fies any song. People were worried that when it comes to Wicked, that everything that Galinda sings is going to be
the Ariana Grandification of Galinda.
But here's the thing, she brought in a beautiful mix of the two. You got the pop essence of it, but you also had the coveted Broadway.
I think
I'm just going to ask you, girls, what is she okay?
Okay, so this is a can of worms in itself. So
she claims that she's okay, even though a lot of people are concerned, because there's a fine line between body shaming and really being concerned for someone, and people are currently at the really being concerned for Ariana Grande, because she has lost weight, she looks pale, she borderline
skin and bones.
Exactly, she looks so different from what she was a long time ago. But then again, she got rid of the tan.
Yes.
She got rid of the Botox, and then she has completely transformed herself, maybe, to her authentic self.
There's of course there's talks about Ozempic going around as well. That's an entirely different celebrity scandal.
But why she was not, she was not in the need to use
dysmorphia, body dysmorphia.
It could happen to anyone.
It could happen to anyone.
Yeah, but it's very, very, very famous in Hollywood
it is,
right now.
Because she has commented on the fact that people were outraged by what she looks like right now, and she said on a radio show that not to judge her and that she's fine and to just leave her alone, she's okay.
All right, so in terms of, let's talk about the award shows.
Oh, yes.
Actress,
conjecture
in a supporting role. What's your pick, Sanuvi?
I think it could be Zoe, given the fact that people had a lot of expectations.
Yeah, this is not, I mean, like, we don't have to waste our time on this. It's going to be Zoe Saldana, and she's going to have one of those, very, emotionally packed speech.
Oh, yes.
See that, and those clips are going to go around social media. And
break the internet.
Happen. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
That'll happen for sure. She'll cry. All that will happen. So anyway, let's get to the next award, which is Actor in a Supporting Role. Here are the nominees.
It was such a beautifully written script, and the character was so full. I got to do the thing which is like the ideal, which I think is acting is kind of at its best when it's instinctual as opposed to intellectual. I myself didn't quite know what kind of temperature I was gonna come out with. All of the reasons why he is how he is felt built into the dialogue and the way that he and David communicated.
It's all real, Benji.
Is it?
I've only said real things.
It's real? Then how come I haven't met anyone that's actually Polish? I haven't had any interaction with somebody who's like from here.
You can get very psychologically weighted down with the burden of iconic artists and mimicry. Jim was terrific at bringing us back to what he called like the juicy paradoxes of the way that mutual affection and mutual respect can quickly turn into a sense of expectation and obligation. It made the whole thing feel more ephemeral and easier to dig down into the individual moments.
More and more people have been showing up, and they're bringing their teaspoons. Teaspoons for justice. Gosh, you showed up, Bobby, and damn it if you didn't bring a shovel.
My favorite scene is when we sit on the couch. We did every take a different way.
I like Anora more than any.
It's not every time you can try something like that and nobody stop you like, what's going on? It's different scene. What's going on? I can say that acting is job for me because it's like kind of life for me.
Please stop screaming! Please stop screaming!
We see Van Buren so sort of present and dominant, and even in his sort of charming, lovable way through the film. I love that once he is confronted, once someone actually really does hold something to him, whether it's a mirror or whether it's just an accusation, that on some level he just vanishes. He just kind of becomes nothing.
He's a sick, senile old dog. And when dogs get sick, they often bite the hand of those who fed them.
It's a sort of the kind of highest degree of difficulty kind of character. And I feel like our job is to kind of check our judgments at the door and find an empathic way to try and embody any character and try and understand their anguish and their struggle. As actors, the chance to do work that requires transformation and risk. That's sort of all we can ever ask for.
Powerful people, they hire me because I'm not the typical bill by the hour, do nothing shyster. And if you throw up at my scarlet piping, you're a dead duck.
All right, the nominees for the actor in a supporting role at the 97th Academy Awards are, as you saw, Yura Borisov from Anora, Kieran Culkin, A Real Pain, Edward Norton, A Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce, The Brutalist, and Jeremy Strong, The Apprentice. I'm sure there's a lot of conjecture when it comes to who's going to win the award, but we all have a feeling who's going to be a shoo-in for this specific role. Mahieash, I'm sure you have a lot to weigh.
There's a little bit of a story here. Now, y'all know what happened on Saturday morning when we woke up. We saw, the Ukrainian president was at the White House getting placarded, and there was an entire drama that happened with Donald Trump. So, in case, I think the voting is over now.
Yes.
I don't know whether that is the case, but if Hollywood hates Donald Trump so much, Jeremy Strong will win this role. Or if by any chance, if that is not the case, if you go by actual acting per se, it'll be Kieran Culkin because he gave one of the realistic performances of the year. I think he actually managed to bring a lot of I think he was not even acting. It was very raw. What he portrayed there on Real Pain. I think that movie, he was basically winning the SAG Awards, BAFTA, and also the Golden Globes for his performance on Real Pain. What is your pick, Sanuvi?
Here's the thing though, okay? So I did a little digging into social media like I always do, and I found on TikTok, on the official Oscars TikTok, there's a bit of pushing towards Yura Borisov.
Oh,
yes. There was a couple of clips going around of him.
He was
getting
phenomenal.
his ideas. He was. It's not that he was. It wasn't clips of the movie. No. He was at. I think there was this famous lady who has an interview while eating with the interviewee, and then those clips were being pushed through, and then people were controversial to be like, do you really want him to win it? Are people really pouring a bit of favoritism to it? But I think I'll go with your pick for this. The Culkin brothers always rule when it comes to...
Who knows though? As
Culkin
long as...
brothers, what happened to the other one?
Oh. He's doing fine.
It's been...
Because, talking about Donald Trump, he was also very prominent for Donald Trump. I think one of Donald Trump's very memorable acting gigs was in one of, not Kieran Culkin, but Macaulay Culkin's movie when he was a kid. That was fun as well. All right, so let's go to the next category with regard to actor in a leading role. Here are the nominees for that.
Adrian Brody in The Brutalist, Timothée Chalamet in A Complete Unknown, Coleman Domingo in Sing Sing, Ralph Fiennes in Conclave, and Sebastian Stan in The Apprentice.
And now for the actor in a leading role, as you saw, the nominees were Adrien Brody for The Brutalist, Timothée Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, Colman Domingo for Sing Sing, Ralph Fiennes for Conclave, and the wonderful Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice.
There was some prejudice there.
I'm sorry, but Sebastian Stan has
Fans unite.
I've been loving that dude ever since he took that vibranium arm.
Oh yes.
And put it on himself. It was like Sebastian Stan for me.
Fangirling someone.
Oh yes.
Massively. I mean,
is that going to influence your pick?
Possibly not.
Do you think Sebastian Stan will win?
I think so. I mean,
No.
I don't know.
No.
Come on.
But
He could be
He's a pretty face.
See, this award is anyone's game because Adrien Brody won at the Golden Globes for this particular award. Then for at the Screen Actors Guild Awards, it was Timothée Chalamet. Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah, the French.
Okay, and then I think even Sebastian Stan won actor in a leading role. I think at the Golden Globes, but for I think it was for a comedy category, but it was a serious movie. There were funny parts in The Apprentice.
I'm still thinking about Sebastian Stan in Her Brave New World. Oh my goodness. Stop. We should stop swooning.
You know what? He just praised us.
We watched this movie, and yes, it was a little stale for phase, for the phase rolling out. But
it's Sebastian Stan.
Oh
anyway,
yes.
okay. So there's something else happening here which I don't want to get into with the two ladies, but apparently in my pick, it might actually go to Adrien Brody for The Brutalist. Not because of anything else. It's because he was also strong, and also that again, Timothée Chalamet was good in terms of his portrayal of one of the best singers the world has known for quite some time, because he managed to get into the exact portrayal of Bob Dylan, but not in a you're copying way, but originally introducing this story of Bob Dylan, because I saw a couple of clips from him where he speaks about how he got into him. He has still not met Bob Dylan, and he's looking forward to meeting him. So all he had was the stories, the interviews, and everything what he had done prior. So that was his source material in order to get ready for this role. So that means there was a lot for him to basically interpret by himself. Well, if this particular scenario was happening, what would be his reaction to it, and then bring that story alive? And he, at the SAG Awards, he said it was 5 years in the making for him. So that means he was a really small. I think 5 years ago, was it that time? Call Me by Your Name came out, or was it way before that?
Call Me by Your Name.
Yeah. So now we are in 2025. So that has to be 2020. No, I think it came somewhere around in 2018 or 2017. So I think from that would have been one of the reasons for him to get this role.
But then his portrayal of Bob Dylan, since you mentioned, like, he took his own take on it, but a lot of people, I think they had a bit of a critique to say that it's not Bob Dylan enough. I don't know.
No, but that's the thing. That's where he explains why for that, because he never met the guy. He never had to, he had the opportunity to sit down and tell me what you feel, in this. So in order to study him or in order to trail him, because usually if you look at Colman Domingo, Sing Sing, which is basically a movie about a bunch of prisoners coming up with a drama theater company. So in that he specifically says he was, it's actually a true story. Not Sing Sing is about this drama theater group that is comprising of prisoners.
Rehabilitation.
So he said he trailed them. He actually studied them, what they did, and also that's one of the reasons
shadowing really plays a big part in how an actor adapts that character. And the fact that he didn't have shadowing means he had to fill in so many gaps. Because for us, of course, us being us, our thought processes are just, you know, like, yeah, this is what I would do. But if you had to think in somebody else's shoes, you'd have to go through extra steps.
Yeah. One more thing, Ralph Fiennes also has a bigger opportunity because once again, one of the most beautiful lines I've actually. He for me, if you're going through a crisis of faith, you should watch this movie. Not because of anything else, because he explains why you need to have faith in one of the lines where he says, basically, if by any chance, he says, certainty is the enemy of courage or understanding, because if you certainly know, then there is no room for a mystery. Okay? Then there is no room for, let's say. So then there is no room for faith. There is no need for faith because if you're certain that this is it. Now, science is not certain about God. Nothing is certain about anything what we are discovering. Even today, we are talking about going to Mars. We have no clue what Mars is about, and
we don't even know what's under our oceans.
Yeah, exactly. So, in a situation like that, faith carries a bigger role here, and he beautifully puts it in that movie where he says, the certainty part is what we have to be very careful about. If you are talking about faith, then the reason for faith is because you're not certain, and that is where you leap towards faith. Anyway, let's actually take a short commercial break. We've been talking a lot about the 97th Oscars. This is our special presentation of Showbiz Tonight. We'll be right back.
Ta vie, tout au bord d'un ruisseau, tu vécu de ces bruits.
They should just let me be.
Let you be what?
Whatever it is they don't want me to be.
Qui monte des chemins que filtrent les taillis, les ailes du moulin.
Also same like Sadozion.
Les cloches de midi.
Minazio Deji.
Soulignant d'un sourire, la chanson d'un oiseau, tu prenais du plaisir à faire des ronds dans l'eau.
What are you doing? Stop.
You are a disgusting hooker.
And your son hates you so much he married one to piss you off.
Perhaps you can help your husband sound less like he shines shoes for a wage.
I realized I was mistaken. I was who I had always been.
Fight these animals! The people here, they do not want us here.
This world is beyond cruelty.
Pretty girls should always smile.
You'll never lose me. Not as long as you stay who you are.
Pour faire des ronds dans l'eau.
All right, those were the nominees for the Best Picture. In the running are Nora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Amelia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and of course, Wicked. I'll come to you, Sanuvi. What's your pick?
For the Best Picture, I feel like as controversial as The Substance
because this is also anybody's game.
It is
anybody's game.
It is anybody's game. But I think, and I hope it's The Substance, because like you said, it's not real. It's not reality, but the way how they portrayed it, because a lot of people were scared of, if this really happens, what if this is our reality? People were actually having like a proper crisis.
Would you take the substance?
Only time will tell.
Time will tell. That's assuming.
If it actually comes true, if it really happens, if that's our probable future, I mean,
that's why. See, this is where an older person would say that life experiences and everything will teach you that finally you have to understand that life is a beautiful line that was brought in. You have to understand life from the backwards, but we have to live it forward. Okay, that is one of the animated movies that was there in the running.
What's your pick?
Mine, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Conclave. I know it's not exactly. The Brutalist might have a really good chance,
that's where I was going.
with Conclave was good. The production quality was good. It's a good movie. It's a solid movie. I was looking forward
timely
for it.
movie.
When I saw the trailer. But Brutalist is heavy. Very heavy in terms of what exactly.
If we're standing on the side of political correctness, do you think the Brutalist?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
High possibility.
Could be.
Yeah, but then again, it could be a surprise as well.
Yeah.
Imagine Wicked wins Best Picture. I mean,
that's gonna stir the pot a lot.
Here's the deal, right?
No, I don't think it has a chance.
Exactly why I said
chance
imagine.
At all, because
yeah.
But then again,
we might see
there could be one of those situations, the moonlight situation, where the wrong thing happened.
Production hell.
That was a really good drama. But I think, what's your pick, Anuradhie?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go with the safe conjecture side and say maybe the Brutalist might actually say it. Conclave, of course, timely. It's great, as you already mentioned. I'm sure all of us can attest to that. But the Brutalist specifically, if we're talking about political correctness, I feel like the Oscars might just take.
Can I give you another take on it? I know the three of us, we had our own differences. We were Substance, then we had a bit of a Brutalist, Conclave and such. But since we brought in our generation to the mix, the ones who are not theatre buffs.
The ones who are not
like as technical as we could be when it comes to movies, a lot of people are hoping and rooting for Anura. Yeah. They are actually rooting for Anura.
It's anyone's game.
It is. Anura also has that. That's what I say. But so does Amelia Perez.
Oh, please.
Because I understand,
I'm not ready to live in.
Not exactly Best Picture worthy, but then again, you understand Hollywood, right?
Politics,
if we go in the part of the whole Vogue category and
which is why I think the Brutalist is a very safe pick, because it's almost like I'm not picking over a moral dilemma.
Academy doesn't do safe. They always do. I remember this is one of the I think it was way back when Brokeback Mountain came, and it was the biggest movie. Ang Lee won Best Director, all that. I'm not even sure. I think it was the 82nd or the 81st, one of those. And this is the 97th. It amazes me, a long time ago. But so in that, everybody was saying it's going to be Brokeback Mountain because it was so, controversial at that particular time. But no, the Academy said no, that's not going to be, and they selected another movie which I can't even remember. So Academy.
That speaks
exactly
right?
what I was going to say.
You don't remember the movie that actually won.
Yeah.
But it also speaks to the fact that, okay, then yeah, maybe Academy Awards won't play safe as they never have.
Anyway, so that is basically our pick for the 97th Oscars. Well, in a few hours' time, we will get to know who out of the three of us have managed to be correct. But once again, Vinod will be here next week on Showbiz Tonight to tell you all about the 97th Oscar, and also he'll be on air on Saturday, next Saturday. But on Sunday we will bring you the full show. Right here on Derana 24 as well on the 9th of March 2025 at 9:35 p.m. But thank you very much for joining us tonight. This is our special presentation of Showbiz Tonight. Anuradhie, thank you, and also Sanuvi, appreciate you guys
had a good chat.
Sitting down and talking to me about the movies, and I'm okay. So I have a different take on you guys because of the stuff that y'all actually said. I don't know whether y'all actually used it from ChatGPT. I sincerely hope that was the case.
We just spoke about how AI is ruining VFX.
All right. Okay. Once again, thank you very much. That's all the time we have for you tonight. Appreciate your company. Have a good night.